Watch Who.
Hello, and welcome to To Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to watching Who.
Yep, watching for the very first time.
Very first time.
And you're joining us here. It's all very joyous. It's May Day. We're here at Devil's End. The Morris dancers are doing their thing. There's like a fete. There's, I don't know, Harvest Festival or whatever.
There's some kids watching.
Yeah, it's really busy in the pub. We're having a good time, aren't we, here out on the green?
Sure, yeah, sure.
And ice cream.
I didn't see any ice cream.
Well, there probably would be if there was a village fete.
It's a pretty naff village fete. I mean, there's just Morris dancing. It's not a fete, is it?
Okay, in my mind, there's more just around the corner. No church, unfortunately. It doesn't exist anymore, but we're just having a bit of a dance. This is the last story of the season. Which you didn't know?
No, I didn't know. Yeah, because I asked you what was next.
Okay, well, let's head into the pub. I've got the rest of the podcast stuff set up, so let's follow me over to the Cloven Hoof. That's what it's called.
What's he called, the landlord? Bert
the landlord. So just as we were finishing, I thought Sarah said, oh, like Bert the landlord. I went, Bert the landlord, oh, like that. And Mark took it as a, oh. Yeah, I was like, what? Well, you like the brigade leader? I don't know.
I'm sorry, I cannot be the only person out there that liked the brigade leader and was like, ding dong.
Well, I don't know. You're probably the only person who likes Bert the landlord.
No, I didn't realise he had a name. I just thought he was the landlord. So I was surprised when his name was Bert. That's all. It was, oh, Bert the landlord, not, oh, Bert the landlord, you know?
Right, here we are. Okay,
Mark making couples wherever he goes in his mind.
I'm not.
You are.
I haven't done that for a while.
No. But you just tried to get me with Bert the landlord, so I'm not even on it.
Okay, well, it's the Daemons this week. A fan favourite for sure. Which I did tell you that before. So.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what you think of it because we watched a little bit separately.
Yeah.
Would you like to explain about watching that?
What?
When you watch your 3 episodes, you've got to tell everyone.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was watching on a Sunday evening for the past few weeks. I've been where me and Mark used to work. I've been in the same building, and I've been doing the Sunday evening. And on a Sunday evening, it's the church that are in. Now, obviously, I don't know what's coming up. I just but Sunday night, we record on a Monday. Sunday night, while up the church run, I just sit and watch Doctor Who.
At reception.
At the reception. So, I'm the first point of call for anyone coming in the building. And I started it. And, yeah, I mean, it's about demons, isn't it? And, they start doing, a sacrifice. But this week in particular, normally they just leave me alone. But this week in particular, they've all wanted to come and talk to me. They all wanted to, have a chat or whatever. And I'm just sat there watching Demons. And they were like, oh, what are you watching? I was like, oh, Doctor Who. They're like, oh, which one? And I just thought, I don't know. I can't get into this. We're not going down this rabbit hole. I was like, oh, it's from the old one, season 8. And then one of them was like, oh, I know that. Who was the Doctor? And I was like, no. I thought, no.
This is the one where
shut it down.
Where the master summons a demon.
Yeah. And they take over the church, and he pretends to be the minister of the church. And yeah, I was like, shut that down.
Oh,
shut that
God,
down.
of all the episodes to watch, that's so funny. Well, I associate this with Halloween for some reason.
I can see that.
I mean, it's set in May Day and stuff.
Yeah.
But I first watched this. I know exactly when I first watched this.
Go on.
The date was November 1992 when it was repeated on television.
Right. Lovely.
And I remember taping it off. So it was one of the very first stories I saw in that early run.
Yeah.
And I remember we always used to tape it off the TV. But with these Doctor Who episodes, because they're in episodes, I don't know why my parents always tried to join up the like take the credits out. Do you know what I mean? So it gets the cliffhanger and you'd stop the video. And then when you were taping the next one, you go all through the recap and the titles and stuff, and then try and press record just as it carried on. But there'd always be a little bit of a weird gap, or like you wouldn't always record in time. I don't know why they insisted on like, oh, we've got to get the video lined up to get the cliffhanger out.
Oh, I love that.
So I had a dodgy version of it on VHS, and then I bought it from Chelmsford Market in a half term for Halloween, and that's why I watched it on like Halloween night when I actually bought the video. So it's always in my mind as my sort of spooky Doctor Who story to watch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's got that vibe, hasn't it?
It does, and it ticks that box. So, yeah.
So we've got a new section, which we're going to try out, where Sarah is going to read a short synopsis of the story which we're about to talk about. And she's reading from the Doctor Who trading card series, I think by Cornerstone, which I got in like 94, 95. So off you go. No, I'm sorry, I'll cut that out. That's really rude. I can't believe I said that.
Off you go.
Off you go.
Okay. The BBC is broadcasting coverage of an archaeologist's midnight opening of a site in the ominously named Devil's End. Although the Doctor scoffs at the idea of magic, he becomes convinced that the opening of Devil's Hump is dangerous and tries in vain to stop it. The Professor is flash frozen and the Doctor nearly dies when the barrow is opened in a terrible explosion of cold. Meanwhile, the new village vicar, the Master, is controlling most of the villagers. In an arcane ceremony, he summons a demon who throws an impenetrable heat shield around the village, preventing UNIT from rescuing them. Can the Doctor fight science so advanced it appears to be magic? That's really hard to read.
Yeah, it's a really weird synopsis, actually, because it talks about episode 1 a lot. Like, you don't need to know that the Professor was flash frozen. But...
So, I mean, like, you've got the Doctor Who trading cards logo in the background of it. So that's already taken up, like, you're trying to read through that. And also... there's so many, you know, when like you put a dash because the rest of the words on the other sentence. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words that were like that, and they weren't like simple words. So I'm half reading it, and that was hard.
Anyway, there we go. We'll try that out. We'll see if that's a thing, a regular thing or not.
We'll see
in
if
the
that
future.
sticks.
Generally, what do you think about this story?
I thought it was good.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, like I said to you at the end, if you'd have given me that to watch as like, here's your first episode, you're just going to watch this, I wouldn't have enjoyed it. I'd have laughed my whole way through it.
But by this point, you are used to it's end of season 8, so we've got all our regular unit characters.
Yeah.
Plus, we've got a good lot of side characters in this as well.
The Master's like peaking, you know. It's good.
Okay, well, we'll go through the story. So we start off on this dark and stormy night in the village, and there's a mysterious... the guy's walking his dog, and there's a mysterious... and he dies, basically. And then we see Miss Hawthorne.
The signs are there for all to see. I cast the runes only this morning.
You'll have to excuse me. I have my rounds to do.
If Professor Horner opens up that barrow, he will bring disaster on us all. This is just the beginning.
We love her. Oh, my gosh. Like, if I can be... more like Miss Hawthorne in life, I think that would be a good thing, because she is epic in every sense of the word.
She's so good, isn't she?
She's so good, and she's so like not eerie, but she's kind of this like, ooh, like mysticiness about her. That's not even a word, but I'm sticking with it. And yeah, she's just great. And she just comes out with these... she's just like, whenever she's on screen, she's in the moment. She is there and owning it. Even if it's not her scene, she's owning that scene. She's great.
She is. So we see her really early on, and she's giving these warnings. She's saying the man died of fright.
Yes.
Basically, and no one's really listening to her. And then we go into this...
I thought that actually she was the wife to begin with.
Oh, right.
So I didn't know who she was going to... I just thought, like, it was the wife, and they'd informed her that, you know, he died, and she said no, you know. I thought it was something like that, and I was like,
Okay.
So, murder mystery.
Then we go into this BBC 3 thing ahead of its time.
Well ahead of its time. I don't think BBC 3 would have been showing this, but...
I don't know. Well, I mean, it reminds me of
this
things
is a BBC
like...
2 thing.
Well, no, like Most Haunted Live and stuff.
That wasn't on BBC Three.
Yeah, no, but it was on like Sky or whatever,
Yeah,
wasn't it? So
that's what I mean. BBC Three was always like edgy young drama, innit?
I suppose so. But it reminds me of Most Haunted Live or Time Team Live or something like that.
Something like that, yeah,
Which is a really good format because I don't think... And the way that they do the handheld camera stuff in some of it, and you're watching the news report with that Alistair, what's his name, and everything, and then the behind the scenes of it all. It just feels really refreshing and something different. I mean, I know we had the newscaster Ambassadors of Death, so they have done that before. I don't know, it just feels... It's just got something about it already in this.
Yeah, I mean, it just felt a bit different, and you felt like you were part of something, I guess, a bit more. That was good. I felt like I was watching... Do you remember when the eclipse happened? And that was all on the news.
Oh, which one? Oh. I think I've lived through several eclipses.
No, but there was a really big one, and it was on the news. There was one, it was on TV. It was like when everything went pitch black.
That's happened a few times, hasn't it?
Oh, maybe.
Or if I just imagined that. No, there was one.
There's been one, definitely.
There was one like 2002. I want to say 2002.
It was around then.
It was all on like CBBC and Newsround and stuff.
Because I remember that.
And everyone had their you had to get your glasses.
Your glasses.
Yeah.
And you had to... I remember my dad saying, like, it's going to go pitch black and all the birds stopped.
I don't remember it. Like, it never goes actual pitch black, though, does it?
I remember it going dark.
It's always a bit disappointing in the clips for me.
Really? No, I remember it so clearly.
I remember
it happening and coming up, and then they were filming from the place where it was going to be darkest.
Oh, okay, somewhere. I think, was it like Cornwall or something?
Yeah, that was going to be like, because of, obviously, you know, where the Earth's at, and different times you can have an eclipse and other parts of we'll see it. But yeah, I remember that. Yeah. It didn't go pitch black, but it went dark. I remember it going like early evening-y style.
Yeah, it's never... I think I always imagine it pitch black.
Whereas I think Cornwall, wherever it was, at the peak of it went black. Like dark.
It's only for a few minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder when we're due the next one.
I don't know, someone will tell us.
Yeah. Why are we talking about eclipses again?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Oh, no, it reminded me of the broadcast reminded me of that. Yes,
of course. Yeah.
So we're still busy, me and Mark. Like, our memories are a bit... But shocking.
Yeah, it gets you into the story. And then you have the quite important scene at the beginning with the Doctor and Joe talking about magic versus science and the bit with Bessie, which is the whole theme of this story.
Yeah.
It's very well put together in that way.
You know, really, Joe, I'm obviously wasting my time trying to turn you into a scientist.
How do you know there's nothing in it?
How? Well, I just know, that's all. Everything that happens in life must have a scientific explanation.
I'm used to that as a dynamic. I kind of miss some of the Doctor and Brigadier banter, but I feel like it's also settled. I don't know. Yeah, it's nice. I've nothing good or bad to say.
So then everyone's tuning into BBC Three to watch, you know, the unveiling of Devil's Hump. And then even the Doctor tunes in. And then this is where we see Miss Hawthorne on the TV doing her bit.
Doing her thing.
She's so, like, yeah, I mean, like, the actress and the character just work so well.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine anybody else being Miss Hawthorne.
I want to be Miss Hawthorne. Like... I need to be Miss Hawthorne. When I'm older, I want to be Miss Hawthorne. I want to be a crazy white witch in my little village.
Yeah, she says she's a white witch.
Mark, she carries a globe, all right? Or what is it? What is it?
I can't remember her
glass ball, basically.
Ball. Well, she consults the talisman of Mercury, and she says, you know, bad things are going to happen if you open this. Yeah. If this thing, so nobody listens to her.
No, people rarely listen to women, Mark. Particularly in Doctor Who, okay?
So live on BBC Three. Don't listen to a woman.
Particularly live on BBC Three, yeah. In the 70s.
Well, I didn't understand, though, when they say Devil's End, the Doctor's like, oh, Devil's End. He's like, oh, I better watch that TV programme. There's no reason for him to be suspicious. Like, for some reason, he hears, like, Devil's Hump, Devil's End or something, and he's like, I've got to get the, why, like, as if he know, like... obviously, you've got to get the Doctor there in the story, so... he's going to be suspicious, but I couldn't see an actual reason why the Doctor suddenly got freaked out by Oh, Devil's End, did you say? Oh, now I'm interested.
I can't even remember them because they were minor, but there were one or two things that happened, and I thought, I don't understand this to the story. Like, it's cool and it's interesting. And they weren't like major things that I was like, wait, what? What's going on? But there were just small things where I just thought, was there any point in what just happened before?
But I think the whole atmosphere of this story just takes over, and it doesn't matter.
And I think that's it. I think that's why you can get away with it, because I could not tell you now what those moments were. They weren't important enough for me to be like, that thing, because actually, overall, the story works. So.
And you have, the policeman tries to hit Miss Hawthorne over her head with a brick, and she does her spell and gets that in the wind. They really use the wind machine in this story a lot, don't they?
Yeah. I had a good laugh at that police officer. I thought he's probably thinking, bumbling old woman that won't shut up. I'm going to hit her with this rock. And then he's all confused, isn't he? She knows.
And then the Doctor and Joe get lost on the way to Devil's Hump because the signpost spins round in a bit of a cartoon style. And then the Master is the vicar. So what did you think about that? Were you expecting the Master to turn up again and be the vicar?
I was expecting him because I thought we're not finished with the Master. I just didn't feel that this made the most sense in terms of fit. I mean, I get it, but... like, you know, he's the vicar and it's all the occult sort of idea, isn't it? But I don't know why, for some reason, it's just not how I expected him to be. And actually, the whole time whenever he was trying to I kind of just kept thinking, like, why is this thing going to give you power? Like, you literally haven't proven anything. It was just really odd.
Well, because he got away last week in Colony in Space. He's not like he was trapped on Earth.
No, exactly. I just found it really odd as a thing. But I also really liked the Master. Like, if this story had been like a few weeks prior, I think it would have been a better fit.
Yeah, well, he's part of the crew, so he's going to turn up.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so unfinished. Like, he got away. That's what he does every week so far, apart from, this one. But he gets away, and, we wait for him to appear again. It just happens to always be the next story.
Well, he didn't get away this time.
Not this time.
So then Benton and Yates, we see they're eating corned beef sandwiches at units.
Yeah.
I don't know who does their catering. I'll have to get Edith onto that. She would never do corned beef sandwiches. And I thought it was quite funny when the Doctor and Joe go into the pub and they're like, oh, you're from the TV. Because of your wig and your costume.
Yeah, that made me wig. Laugh. I didn't understand. Where was the Brigadier off to? He was dressed very formally.
Was out. Well, he's the Brigadier. He's out for dinner, isn't he? And then he went on somewhere afterwards. And
yeah, I know. I want that story. I want the Brigadier's night story, and then wakes up in bed the next day in his pajamas.
Yeah, and they don't know where he went.
More on that, please.
But you can't really have going ahead with the heat barrier and everything, and UNIT being trapped and not being able to come to the village is a good thing, because there's nothing for UNIT to do in that way. There's nothing else for the Brigadier to do in this story at all. It's not one of those ones where they can, they try and fire at Bok and everything. But it's good you've got Benton and Yates in there, and they're not in their uniform, and they're like the fighty ones for the story. But it's not really a UNIT story otherwise.
No. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed getting to know Benton and Yates more, I guess. So.
And they open the thing live on TV on BBC Three, and literally all hell breaks loose. Yeah,
just as the Doctor arrives, going, "No!"
I know. And then what does it say on that card? Flash freezes.
The Professor is flash frozen, and the Doctor nearly dies.
Yeah. So, and that's our end of our. And Jo walks in, and she says, "Are you all right?" And they're both there unconscious with the snow on them and everything. Yeah. She's like, are you all right? And then she's like, oh, no. And it just goes on a little bit too long before they cut to the credits. And I had a shortened version on my VHS of that because it was more like, and then it just cut to the beginning of the next one.
So you missed Joe's "Oh no" as a kid?
Oh no, I think I missed a few of those.
Yeah.
Well, they dig out the doctor, and he gets unfrozen. But the thing is, though, as well, they lie him out. They bring him to the pub, and he's lying on a table at the pub, and the local doctor's checking over him and everything.
Yeah.
But this time, because I'm watching a little bit more closely than I usually do, there's people just having a drink and stuff in the bar in the background. And they brought this dead body, supposedly, in. I've just got him on the pub. But in the background, you've still got the extras having a drink, if you look closely.
I miss that. I was watching it on Britbox for First 3, and the quality's not as good as yours.
No, I'm on the DVD, yeah. They've cleaned it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess the Blu-ray's even better. So this is more sort of like the Doctor's episode off. If we were in the 60s, this would be John Pertwee's holiday because he's unconscious for most of it in bed, which we haven't had for a while.
No.
This is where we have the giants, or supposedly the giant. There's something there, and Benton and Yates are in the helicopter. More helicopter stuff.
Yeah.
So much helicopter in Doctor Who. I've never realised how many helicopters they use.
There's a lot. The unit on the front made me laugh. The G unit with the giant G unit, the giant G and a giant T.
But they're going over it, and then they look down and they see hoof prints, massive hoof, like taking up a lot of the field. But when they land,
they're not that big.
Like the smallest hoof print. So somebody somewhere along the line. I know it's a minor thing.
No, I noticed that.
It's just one of those things.
I was expecting it like bigger than the helicopter.
Like if they were up high, like that was a good I don't know. Like, it was huge.
Yeah, I agree.
And then when you're close up, it's just literally like the size of like a human foot.
Well, it was bigger than that, but it wasn't that much bigger.
No, yeah, you wouldn't see that from the sky.
No, you would not. It made me laugh too.
So that was funny. I'm glad you noticed that as well.
Yeah, no, I did, definitely.
And as you say, the Brigadier wakes up in bed. Spin-off story somewhere there, I'm sure. Oh, and then Benton rescues Miss Hawthorne, because Miss Hawthorne has been tied up in a trunk for a whole night, possibly.
Poor Miss Hawthorne.
And she's screaming, and she's the sort of double act of Benton and Miss Hawthorne is quite nice.
It is, yeah. And Yates and Hawthorne, Miss Hawthorne. Anyone and Miss Hawthorne, basically.
Yes. Well, then you get the... again, I think the idea is that the demon, appears 3 times, like the Master summoning and all that stuff.
And third is the final
time.
When
he appears again, there's like a heat wave, and that's what wakes up the Doctor.
Yeah.
We have a burning bush, and we
we've got
all sorts going on. There's all this. There's a lot of wibbly wobbly acting and moving around, collapsing, earthquake acting in this.
Yeah.
And then we see the heat barrier bit. We get to that bit. So everybody in Devil's End is going to run out of milk because the milkman can't get through.
No.
That van's gone up. There is no supplies getting to that village.
Well, we right now are in the middle of the petrol crisis where everyone's...
Yeah, maybe there's a heat barrier. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Heat barrier. You cannot
It's not COVID,
through.
It's not Brexit. It's a heat barrier.
It's a heat barrier.
They're just keeping it out of the news because everyone's panic buying petrol right now.
Yeah.
That's not what you want for a heat barrier, guys.
No
I'm just
one
saying.
Can get out. I suppose no one in the village is trying to get out to get some milk.
Oh, everyone's just like, all right, that's done. Off we go. And then carry on with our lives. It's really odd. The villagers in this just make me laugh. They're the thing that, if I watched this for the first time, that's why I'd laugh so much.
But they are the real life villagers just watching the filming a lot of the time.
Well,
not the Maypole people, but all the people in the background. Like we saw the kid chewing a gum on his bike. There's definitely a kid there with an autograph book in his hand in the background.
Like that, completely. But some of the other bits, they're the things that made me laugh the most.
It's another Earth type story. We've not had that. I mean, guess who'd be at the Fete? Meg and Sam. They'd be going around.
I guess so, yeah.
Come to there. Yeah, they would.
Sam's off, picking the land, isn't he?
Yeah, but...
Not round a maypole.
Meg could do the maypole, wouldn't she?
I don't know. Maybe she might Morris dance. I imagine a Morris dancing more than maypoling.
Okay.
She's there with the sticks.
Okay, while we're talking about... do you want to do your quote then?
Yeah.
Your favourite quote?
This was my favourite quote from the whole story. And it was when he was trying to explain how to break the heat barrier and what he needed to do. And he obviously says something like, that's against aerodynamics, because the Doctor comes out with this classic line, yes, well, according to classical aerodynamics, it's impossible for a bumblebee to fly. And then just goes. And I found it hilarious. I don't know why. Maybe it was because of the situation I was in as well, watching it. But that absolutely cracked me up.
I don't know if that's actually true.
It is true. Yeah. Because of body mass to wings, a bumblebee, that is true.
Are you sure?
Yes, 100%. No, that is true. A bumblebee, if in terms of mass, if you were to blow it up, in terms of mass, for what the size of a bumblebee to its wingspan, it should not be able to fly.
Well, why does it fly then?
Well, that's what the doctor says, that things can happen. But that is true. That I've heard that before. I think, but whoever writing this picked out that moment and was like, this fact.
Yeah, I know. Like, you could have easily said something like, Daddy Longlegs are poisonous.
Yeah, a Daddy Longlegs should kill us, but
yeah, but it doesn't.
But literally, it was just that fact, and I don't know why. The fact that a bumblebee fly, and then it just cut to the next scene, and it just really made me laugh. That was my favourite quote.
Well, then the Doctor and Joe come face to face with Bok. Demon, what do you think of the demon?
Oh, it was all right. It was just, I mean, when it was moving, it was funny.
Oh, I thought you'd really like Bok.
I did like Bok, but I mean, Bok is evil.
I know, but not... Well, he's a statue.
He doesn't know any better, I guess.
I know. I'd like a Bok.
Well, we were talking about this because in Wicked...
Oh, yeah.
There's a Bok.
There is a Bok, yeah.
And we were like, which one came... Well, I said to you, I thought that because Bok is with that sister, I thought that Bok became a monkey, but similar to what the Gargoyle thing was, but it wasn't. We looked it up, didn't we? So
yeah, no, Bok becomes a Tin Man in Wicked. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's what it's like. It's like the monkey from Wizard of Oz.
It is just like the monkey from Wizard of Oz. That's what it is. And it's just funny that it's also called Bok. So yeah, no, I mean, I didn't not like it. It was just a bit weird when it was on the ground and like you know, they were in their cave and all of a sudden it was like, way, but not making any noise, but its action was like, I'm trying to like make that for audio.
Well, I think a statue going, way is enough. You don't need to do anything else.
I mean, I would also shit myself, but I'd be like Joe screaming. But yeah, it was quite funny. I don't know why, I just found it amusing.
So the master gets all the locals on his side. We find out the heat barrier is this dome over the village. No one can get in or out.
Very Marvel.
And is it?
Yeah, WandaVision.
Oh, right. Okay. I don't know.
No, it's like that. She's got a dome over the town. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
And then the Doctor does this little PowerPoint in the pub about the history of the demons with horns and all of that stuff. That's nice. That is nice. It's good in this story that there is time for that, where they all have a sit down and a chat about what's going on and the mystery.
Yeah.
I like those moments.
Yeah.
I did get a little bit fed up of, and I know it's a 5-episode story, so you have to have a little bit of this, of Osgood trying to build the thing to get through the heat barrier, and there's a lot of, and the Doctor's takes up a lot of his time, but you need that, and that's how you get the Brigadier in the story. There's no...
Yeah, there's no other way, really.
You need to cut to something else while everything's happening in the village, and that's what happened. Let's talk about fighting, because Benton gets a lot of fights. Yates gets a fight.
Benton gets loads of fights.
So suddenly you've noticed Benton, the fighter.
Yeah. Benton's like so many fights. He's like Ian level fighting. He is bossing it.
I can't believe you said that.
Like, Benton and Yates, this is the first episode where I fully appreciate them as characters. I'm going to be completely honest.
Is it because they're not in uniform?
Maybe. So they seem like these people that we know in a relaxed environment, not relaxed environment, a relaxed way.
Maybe that's what it is then.
Yeah, because I'm for them completely. I'm like, where have you been all these stories? You are brilliant. And they bring something so different.
Who's your favourite, Yates or Benton?
Yates.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like, well, Yates, I think, is just, Benton's more like the hard man. Do you know what I mean? He's the fight one. Whereas Yates, I feel, because obviously the Brigadier's not there, so he's the one that sort of steps up to be the more logical, the more like, within reason. And even like when the Brigadier does arrive, he's like, he sort of is explaining to the Brigadier what the situation is. The Brigadier's trying stuff. He's like, no. Or he's like, wait. Like, he's on it. He is all over it. Who's your favourite?
I don't know. Well, I would say Yates, I think.
Yeah.
He's more, like you say, he's a bit more intelligent and...
I feel like Yates and Joe have something going on as well.
Oh.
Not to do a mark and just pair people together.
There is I think that was the idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's that much in any of the scripts that actually say anything, but I think Yates was brought in in the concept to maybe have something like that.
You can sort of see it though.
What made you think that?
Just sort of it, like really early on when he's like, "Do you want to lift back?" And she's like, "Yeah, okay," and he gives her the lift, and like he's the one that they did the cocoa with, wasn't it?
Yes, the cocoa.
Yeah, but this one in particular, like he's a lot more. I guess because the Doctor's kind of more out of it in a way. He's like, when there was all that shouting, he goes after Jo to get her from the.
But they're a team, and they're all very protective of Jo. Like Yates, Benson, Doctor, everyone is all.
Doctor's not.
Jo.
The Doctor cares about Jo. He's not protective of Jo. He cares about her, and I think he likes that she's this kind person. Like I've said before, compliments his not kind nature.
But in this is more of the Jo that I know now. If you compare her to Terror of the Autons and Mind of Evil, she was still that unit secretary person. In this, there's not really much to indicate she works for unit anymore.
No, there's not.
She's just the Doctor's girl companion.
Yeah.
There's no... I can't think of anything. She's with him in the workshop at the beginning. She goes off with him. Okay, it's probably her job to go off with him. But there's nothing there. She's not given orders. She's
I agree.
not involved. I don't think she even talks to the Brigadier. I think this is where the transition happens to, your traditional companion rather than a member of unit. Although she technically is a member. If you see what I mean.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I feel like she's a little bit more helpless than she was because of that.
But only
stuff like they're running to stop the she falls over.
Yeah,
she didn't have to fall over. She gets knocked out. She possibly got strangled by some ivy, or the wind machine was just doing its thing. We're not sure. She seemed scared of the ivy. I don't know if that was supposed to happen. I mean, in this, it's her that sorts everything out. She says, "Take me instead of the Doctor," and that's what blows up everything at the end as well. She's very much, I need to look after the Doctor. Where's the Doctor? What's happening?
That's all her job is, really.
Yeah, it's a shame she's lost though her mission, as it were. If you see what I mean. I don't know, not mission. I don't know. Just I'd rather she was a bit more Unity.
Would you?
A little bit, yeah, because that stops all of the. Okay, yes, you can be concerned for the Doctor when he's like frozen, flash frozen or whatever it is. But then she could be the one phoning the Brigadier or sorting stuff. She seems really helpless, like, someone's got to get a doctor, someone's got to help me. I'm this helpless girl in this situation where actually, no, you're a member of unit. Someone's down. You've got to... Where's your training? Where's your...
I don't see it like that.
Why are you asking for everyone for help when actually it's...
I kind of see her more like... Everyone to some extent is like off the Doctor. Do you know what I mean? And she is that. If she was also like a little bit more Unity, you lose that sense of vulnerability and kindness.
Oh, you need it in the story, yeah.
But you need it amongst those characters. That has to be there. I mean, let's go really far back. That's what Barbara was.
Yeah.
And you need that because this Doctor is not that. This Doctor in particular is very like pragmatic and very like forceful, and he knows, he's frustrated as well. He's frustrated of his situation. It's a very different Doctor, and you need that. But he's not a bad person. I mean, he's trying to save Earth again, as usual, in this story. And I think you need that real, even more so. Jo just brings something completely different that I think was needed. And that's just because of, how Liz and her character was set up. That's nothing to... I loved Liz as well.
Well, talking about the Doctor and Jo's relationship, there's this line in this where Jo says something like, the Brigadier's useless or something. Yeah. And the Doctor has a proper go at her.
He does,
He's your superior. You should give him... and she's like, sorry. That's a very interesting moment.
Of all the idiotic plans, as if blowing things up solves anything.
Jo, the Brigadier is doing his best to cope with an almost impossible situation. And since he is your superior officer, you might at least show him a little respect.
Yeah, because I would say this is a season where the Doctor keeps his respect for the Brigadier. He did not have that with Liz around. He just didn't. Him and Liz were like, the clever ones getting on with things, and he was just trying to get out of there, and Liz was trying to help him, and that was that. This season's very much the Brigadier is leading this, and the Doctor respects what he's trying to do, even if it frustrates him and annoys him.
Well, he needs the Brigadier's help.
Absolutely, because I think that's the other thing. None of this can be done alone. The Doctor can do none of this alone. He always needs people. He always needs that support and help.
What do you think of the science versus magic side of this, where, you got Miss Hawthorne and
I just think it's a really weak link, I felt.
You don't think it's like a good idea? And
I really like the story, so it's hard for me to say, because I did really enjoy it and I really liked it and it was different.
I mean, it's just a background theme. It's not.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Sometimes I felt like it was like the science. Like, okay, how did they make that heat shield? That was never really explained. If we're going down the whole of all of this is science. I think it's
like psychic energy for. Well, because
that almost seems more
because the demons. Well, the whole point is it's saying, look, these are not supernatural beings. You're not being haunted or whatever, and it's not a demon in a church.
Yeah,
it's aliens. There's a spaceship.
Oh, I get that, but like some of it,
there's always an explanation. That's what
some of it verged on to the supernatural, like just because of the nature of it. I mean, the Bok thing, how did that come to life? That is not an alien, is it? Is Bok an alien? What is Bok? Who brought Bok to life?
I think, well, it's like the Autons and plastic, isn't it?
But we understand that. That's explained more because we know that they develop things and it's part of an alien.
Yeah.
Is Bok an alien that's just been sat in the church waiting to come along? Like, there was certain things like that. But I also love Bok, so that's not a criticism. That's just kind of like, if I'm really having to dig down into this, I think it's got issues as a story.
No, I can see that, yeah.
Doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it.
It took me a little, when I first watched it, it took me a while to understand the spaceship stuff.
But it's also only mentioned that once.
Yeah,
we see it's mentioned once, and then it's like, it's got... And I don't want to dwell on all that stuff, but also, if your whole argument is there is no mythical stuff, it is all science, then really push on what the science is. I don't know. There was just certain things where...
Okay.
I mean, the whole of the Doctor's theory is that anything, it's all science. And his example is getting Bessie to come to him. Well, he's made a remote, but a remote is a very different thing to, the Master's psychic energy.
No, yeah, I see what you mean.
It's just a little bit
it doesn't hold
too
up. Yeah.
blurry.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it.
I like the concept of it, though.
I really like the concept, and I really enjoyed the story. It's just if we're really going to have to go deep into it, it's got a lot of loopholes.
I always think of this concept. This sounds really weird.
Here we go.
Well, no, the magic versus science thing. I love Most Haunted. I love a haunted house situation or something like that. But I always come back to it and think, there's got to be a scientific explanation a lot of the time. And I think ever since I was young and watched this and saw that argument, I've always thought of that. That just sounds really weird, but
but people say that, don't they, anyway? They say, when the door opens.
Yeah, I know, but in my head, I've got John Pertwee going, science! That's what it is. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I get, freaked out or something, if I'm in a haunted place...
Now we know.
I just think John Pertwee always comes into my head saying that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I've got to think of that. What would the third Doctor say? What would he do? He'd say it was science, so you're all right.
Yeah, true.
That's just so weird.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's interesting at the end of part 3 because the cliffhanger, and we got some good cliffhangers in this.
Are we only at part 3 in this whole explanation?
Yeah, we're getting through it. We're getting through it. There's a lot to talk about on this one.
Okay, sure.
It's the Master is in trouble because you get the next appearance of the demon, and the Master's saying, no, keep away. And the cliffhanger is the Master's in trouble, which shows, like, how much he is part of the team, because you're like, oh no, is he going to get the Master? Or what is he unleashed? If the Master's scared, then whatever's on its way must be really bad.
But again, that almost proves to me, the way that he talked and was scared of it was like, why would this thing give you its power? You're so weak to it. And the Master is a weak character. That's ultimately his thing. He wants all the power and all the glory, but he's quite weak. That's why he never gets it. That's why the Doctor can always convince things otherwise. Even the last story, that alien thing saw right through him. That's kind of his flaw. But, like, I just kind of think, mate, I mean, forget about the Doctor being there. Ain't nothing giving you it. Like, you've just been carrying on the ground. And he knows he's only got 3 tries at this. I'd be like, do you know what? Right, I'm going to sort out that Doctor thing. I'm going to get this. And then it's got to, because I've proven myself. But he's literally like, no, right, okay, we'll just have more people here and I'll do it again.
And, well, then going into part 4, now we've just watched the last 2 together, so I've just got very few notes of what we saw.
That's fine.
Joe's got a nice duvet, apparently.
I loved that duvet. It had like a sun on it.
Yeah, so Joe, and then we weren't sure because Joe wakes up and says, oh, I've got to get to the cavern.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Well, actually, we've missed out why she's unconscious, because we have...
No, we didn't. We said she got chucked off.
Oh, well, no, yeah, we didn't say that.
Okay.
There's some action sequences, as always. We get a helicopter sequence, we've got a Bessie sequence, I think we've got a motorbike sequence.
Yeah.
Lots of action. You've got to have... It's got everything. I think this is why this is a fan favourite. You've got that village atmosphere, you've got the Master, you've got your action, you've got your unit, you've got all your characters. It's just got everything. This sums up a lot of this sort of time of Doctor Who, I think. That's why I think people really like this story.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and we see the legs first of the Demon of Azal.
The tiny little legs.
Well, big legs.
Well, they end up big, yeah, but they're quite... He ain't got much calf.
This is where the maypole gets put out.
So weird.
And the Morris dancers.
Yeah.
Did you do that at school?
No.
You never did it?
No.
Are you serious?
Yes, I said no.
Oh my God. So year 5, year 6 was a lot of country dancing.
Really?
Always.
I mean, I did unconventional primary school. We wouldn't be maypole in Mark.
So, well, we always had for the school fete, each class would have to do a country dancing performance. No. And we would spend afternoons practicing the maypole. And I love doing the maypole. There's one where you do a pattern and it comes out like squares. The best job, though, because you had to have 2 kids to sit in the middle so it didn't go over. So you could just sit in the middle and do nothing all afternoon. And when the maypole got brought out, I was like, yes, this is so much fun. And I still remember some of the country dancing.
Of course you do.
Things that we did, and we'd do it over and over. I suppose it was put down as like exercise time or something. I don't know, instead of PE or whatever. But we would always do country dancing.
No,
that's so funny. I just thought all schools did that.
No.
There's a really good one that goes da 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 da. Right? You do sort of like a thigh.
Why does it sound like I'm a Barbie girl?
No, that's how it went. It went da, 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 da. Maybe it was. You sort of slap your thighs, da da, clap.
Yeah.
And then you do right to left, left to right, what they called high five sort of thing. And then the other one, da 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 da. And then you hold hands and then you sort of skip sideways. Round in a circle,
right?
And then you stop because there's 2 circles, sort of thing. If you see what I mean, there's an inner circle and an outer circle. So you sort of change partners, and you stop in front of that partner, and you go da 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 da, and then you go round the other way. Da, 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 da.
I mean,
and then,
I've done a Kaylee.
Well, yeah, it's like a Kaylee, isn't it?
But with a pole.
Yeah, I know. It's sort of like a Kaylee dance, but
yeah.
I love country dancing.
Okay,
That's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
Maybe I'll become a Morris dancer one day.
Maybe that could be a poem.
I don't know.
You can do Morris dancing in Cardiff.
I don't.
They performed at Cannes.
Yeah, but I don't want to wear all the paper and bells and stuff.
Yeah, you have to dress up as well.
I wore a Cyberman Silver Nemesis t-shirt when I did my country dancing at primary school.
Of course you did.
Listeners, I've got a photograph of me doing it.
I need to see that. That's what I need to see.
Anyway, well, actually, when I turned up, I remember that time because I turned up and whoever I was down partnered with didn't turn up or something. So there was this girl like 2 years ahead or something, or a year ahead, And she was like, I know all the dances, I'll do it. And I was like, you better know these dances because we're going out now. And she did, it was fine. She just filled in for anybody that wasn't there because she just knew all the dances. I think her name was Sian.
Shout out
to Sian, the country dancing expert. If anyone's got a maypole...
You can do some Morris dancing. There's Cardiff Morris dancers.
No, I don't know.
I'm going to sign you up.
I think they came to our work once, actually. They booked out a rehearsal space.
Probably.
The Morris dancers.
Yeah.
It's all the bells and stuff, though.
Not for you.
No.
Just the dancing.
But you were very shocked when they all came out and in the village of Devil's End.
Oh, God, yeah, I was.
But our favourite Miss Hawthorne moments, she helps herself to a drink behind the bar.
Yeah.
She's doing some crocheting.
Yeah.
Just in some downtime while everything's going on.
When Yates and Benton are having a conversation in the background, she goes, oh no! And I lived for it. Lived.
So I showed you the picture. I'll put the picture of everyone when I met Damaris Heyman. Oh, she's so nice. She's lovely. She was very old.
Yeah.
And I gave her my Daemons DVD to sign. And I had I was a bit nervous because I gave her the bit of paper to sign. There it is. And she picked it up.
Yeah.
And she was signing, but she didn't lean it on anything. She was holding it up in the air while she was really trying to look closely to do it. And it took quite a long time. And I was like, oh my God. Oh, she was lovely though. And also, while we're talking about, there is a spin-off called The White Witch of Devil's End, starring Damaris Heyman. And a new drama, which I'm trying to convince Sarah to watch. Come on, get in touch if you want Sarah to watch this, okay? I've never got all the way through it, to be honest, so that might say something. But she had them all on her table and she was really trying to sell them, and I bought it because she really wanted me to buy it, I think. I wasn't that interested, to be honest. But she was very much sitting there with her merchandise. So I thought, I'll buy it anyway. I mean, it's not the most flattering cover.
It's really not.
But can I just read you the synopsis of this?
Yeah.
Okay. The White Witch of Devil's End, new original drama. Stars Damaris Heyman, reprising her role as Olive Hawthorne from the Daemons. In this 6-part drama series, Olive tells the story of her life from childhood to her final days as the magical guardian of Devil's End. Fighting every force of evil imaginable, Olive must defend the village, but what happens as she reaches the end of her life? Who will protect the townsfolk then? Little sequel to the Daemons there. We should give it a go, I think.
We'll think about it.
But no, she was so nice. And actually, I did see her many, many years ago, before I sort of went to conventions and stuff. I went to a one-off one, and she was there, and I was not bothered about seeing her. I regret it now. I was not bothered at the time, and she was sitting there, and she had a little Bok head figure on her table, and nobody was seeing her. She was just sitting there on her own, the whole time. It was a really small convention. I was just, at the time, I just didn't think, I just wasn't bothered, so I didn't. But I'm so glad I got to see her. And you've seen the picture, haven't you?
I have seen the picture. We'll put it up.
It's she was so lovely. Yeah, so that's Damaris
Well, we're big
Heyman.
fans.
We are, yes. Yeah, I think she's up for some awards. She's up for some awards. She really stands out.
Yeah.
And she's so different to any other characters we've had this
whole
season, really.
Yeah.
We haven't had anyone like her I can't think of anyone else like her.
Well, the closest I can think of is Meg.
Meg, well, yeah, I mean, that was ages ago, and
that was
they are very
7.
different.
Yeah. But in terms of female side character presence and involvement.
And she's really good because she helps she's immediately on the Doctor's side.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't see eye to eye because of the magic and science stuff, but they are on the same side. And she does the quad bit.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was clever. She knew her people. She knew her crowd, didn't she?
Yeah. She must be sort of everyone knows her in the village.
Yeah.
She's that kind of person, isn't she? Where it's, there's Miss Hawthorne, or...
Yep. Crazy old Miss Hawthorne, the White Witch.
Exactly. And then part 5, we have to have our unit shootout with Bok. Obviously, I don't know why they keep shooting, because it's not going to do anything.
No, but, I guess that's just what they know to do. So that's what they try.
Yeah, and it wraps up quite fairly quickly after Jo decides to sacrifice herself. And
again, I mean...
What do you think of that conclusion? Is that too of a simple? Is that...
It's really simple. And again, it just... wasn't the clearest thing. They explained it at the end. I was like, I'll buy it because it was a good story and it made me laugh at places. But I don't know, it's kind of a bit of a cop-out, really, isn't it? It's because we're going so detailed into it. I did enjoy this story.
Yeah, so, overall, yeah, it's definitely
if I overthink it...
Yeah, if you look too much into it.
Yeah, then I think you can find so many issues. So it's better not to.
No, I see what you mean. But it's the atmosphere. It's like I say, you watch it in the dark.
Yeah, it's just so different.
It's a bit spooky.
Considering last week we were in space.
Exactly.
This is perfectly different and exciting. So, in its own way.
Great, and it's only 5 episodes as well, rather than 6, and it just feels 5. I think you could have done a really good action-packed 4.
Yeah, I agree.
But I like that episode 1 the best, where it's the mystery and what's happening.
I loved episode 1. I thought episode 1 was brilliant. Yeah,
because it is that it sets it up, and I think as it goes on, by the time you get to episode 5,
okay,
because you had a lot of Master in the Cavern summoning things. You have that a lot, don't you? And Clothes Watch, she's got some very nice robes.
As does Joe.
And Joe gets in it, and then the doctor's like, get out of those. Well, not get out of those clothes, but you know what I mean? Like,
go and get changed.
Not Joe, get out of those clothes. Not like that. But what he sort of does, in a way. She's like, okay.
Yeah. In his classic grumpy style.
In his way. And they all end the season happily round the maypole.
So weird.
In the village of Devil's End.
Well, Miss Hawthorne, I mean, she drags him in, doesn't she? Drags Benton along.
Yeah.
What does she say to him?
Do you want to do the fertility dance?
That's it. Oh my gosh.
As I say, it's the end of that season. We've done another season.
Yeah.
It seems to come really quick.
Yeah, this one has as well, yeah.
Do you have any hopes for season 9?
I just want us to get off Earth.
It's more off Earth, okay.
Yeah.
More off Earth.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it'll be the Doskers next time. Oh, man. I've got to book Edith.
Oh.
See if Molly's free. Who else was going to do it? Oh, Mary Ash.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a lot of phone calls to make. I've got a lot of organising to do.
I thought you had something genuinely like...
What? I've got a lot to do. The Doskers does not just happen, you know. There's a lot of organising behind the scenes. Where are we going? I need to think of a venue.
One venue.
Okay, is there a venue that you particularly like?
I don't care. One, I ain't moving.
Okay, fine. Maybe I'll see if the pub at Devil's End is free.
Okay.
Maybe Miss Hawthorne can do some...
Shots?
Shots. Do some shots.
She helps herself to the bar.
Fine, everyone. Yeah, next week, shots with Miss Hawthorne, everyone. We're doing it. Every time you see an elemental, take a shot. Oh, okay. Sorry, were you saying something?
No.
Okay. Right, okay then. Well, we will see you next time. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at ToWatchWho to see all the latest photos of us and what we're talking about, me and Miss Hawthorne. And you can support us as well on buymeacoffee.com/ToWatchWho. And Doskers next week. So we will be getting in touch with our coffee members for you guys to decide one of the categories as well. So you'll get a message from us. Oh no, actually, you would have already had a message from us by the time you've heard this. So
yeah, you've already voted, guys.
You've already voted. So I hope you voted well. You'll find out next week. Okay, bye.
Bye.
To Watch Who.